Good evening, everybody, and let's take a look at some of our tennis from last week. So here we go. Let's get started. And right here, I want you to notice we started the point. Everybody's in your basic one up and one back situation. And what we'll notice here is that I pressed the wrong button to begin with. If we look at Laura here, Laura's on her way up to the net, following her return in, using it as an approach shot. What is interesting here is how Tammy started up there on the service line, but once her partner started moving up, we'll see Tammy backing out of the situation. And one of the things to be concerned with is, as a player, is your spacing from your partner, because what we're looking at right now is this huge area between Laura and Tammy, and we pretty much know how many balls tend to be played through the middle. And so the closer you are to your partner, the smaller that gap will be in the middle of the court. And so let's see what happens here. And not that it put Tammy in a bad situation, it was that spacing for a split second. And out of this situation, Tammy, I believe, throws up a pretty good lob back to the baseline. Looked good from here. And let's take this out. Dawn is looking for the volley. And it looks like Laura is anticipating the ball. I believe Dawn missed this volley, and she wasn't really happy with herself. And obviously, the place to go with that volley would have been through here because of the gap. And I think she was just going more off to the side of the court to Laura's alley side. So let's move on ahead here. And again, we have our one up and one back situation. Little things here. If we take a look at Dawn first, and we notice that traditionally that person on that side of the net tends to shade to the alley a bit too much. I think Dawn and any player in this situation would be better off maybe another half a step or a step over to her left so she's closer to the center. And looking at Tammy's situation here, what I always found more effective on the court was standing a little bit closer to the center and maybe over to the middle of the court a little bit, because this is what allows you to be lined up to that person that much better. So let's see what happens here. The serve goes wide. And when I talked about spacing earlier, and Tammy's doing a great job here. Tammy's focused. She's looking over at Laura to see what's going on, to see what situations she's in. And she's initiated, a defensive move backing up. However, with Laura being backed up or being pulled wide, I think Tammy would be better served, when she's retreating, is to retreat a little bit more back to the center of the court, where she could play a better defense from there. And Dawn moves out to intercept this ball. And again, from a volleyer's perspective, what she should be looking at is this range as far as her shot, because that's a pretty big gap that she'll get to hit through. Where she hits it, nobody knows. Let's find out. And she pushes the volley a little bit over to Tammy's side of the court. Tammy is right there for it. And now Dawn's got this overhead. And if you were in that position, where would you want to hit that overhead? Yep. Anywhere, through this area here, where if she does get it to Laura's side, Laura doesn't have quite the time to react to it. Here we see the overhead going back to Tammy's side, who does have time. She makes a good play off of this, going back to the other baseline, which allows Laura to get into an offensive position at this point. And with Laura moving up, if you look at her feet, she's moving up to play this shot from Dawn's position right now. If you see the person in front of you doing that, the good thing to do is to back up and give yourself a little bit of time, because you can almost be guaranteed it's coming your way. And in this case, it does. It goes right at Dawn. She really doesn't have the time to recover on that. So, next point. This is with Laura serving. And again, let's take a look at this person here. And again, Dawn would be better served being let's see if I can actually do this, or if she can just get back a little bit more into this area. She's closer to her partner and less likely to give the middle of the court up to her opponents. Okay, so here's the serve being pulled wide. So Dawn takes a look over there, and anytime your partner gets pulled to this extreme, and in this case Jen is pulled off to her doubles alley, you can see what Dawn needed to do was get the heck back into the middle of the court, more in a defensive position, just to make sure that nothing bad happens there. Jen makes a good return there. Now Dawn is moving into the ball very nicely. She sees the ball to the middle. She's moving to the middle. And let's see if Tammy plays a really cool shot right behind her. That is something else. And I got to tell you, Dawn didn't do anything wrong. She tracked the ball beautifully into the center of the court. With the ball being in the middle here, this gives Dawn a chance to move up into the center and look for a possible intercept. Tammy, however, did not cooperate and decided to hit this fantastic shot back behind her. So let's take a look possibly at one more point here. And if we look at the beginning of the point here, this is nice. If we look where Jen is behind the service line, a little bit closer to the center. Again, I always find that position worked really well for me, both playing defense and offense. Okay, let's see where she plays this return. Okay, and there's the ball in front of Jen. She shadows the ball and gets right in front of it. Dawn's in pretty good shape with the return angle. Let's see what she plays with this. And I don't know where she hits it, but if I were sitting in that position, what I see is a clear path between the two of them here. Whether or not we can get it over there is a different story. Let's see where Dawn plays it. She plays it back to Tammy's side, and now what Tammy's looking at, what we would all be looking at, is that shot through the center, and I have no idea what Tammy does. She's also has the ability here to lob Jen, who's pretty tight to the net. So both those plays are good options for her at this point. Let's just see what she takes from here. And she takes the option right over Jen. Beautifully done, and I think it may have gone long, but still, that's a good play to go over Jen because Jen didn't have any help behind her. Okay. Hey, that's about it. Just wanted to show you a handful of points and the value of this video. I plan on doing a lot more of this in future times on the court because hopefully you can see the value in it, and we can really fine-tune our game. So that's it. We'll be talking to everybody soon. Thank you.